Hello everybody. This is your PC Wizard, and we're getting ready for tonight's Tech QA. More specifically tonight, we are going to try and do a live walkthrough of setting up OBS for Twitch from start to finish. We're going to create a test dummy Twitch account. We're going to get the stream keys, temporary keys, because I'm going to delete this account when the stream is over because I'm going to archive it. And we're going to set up a fresh installation of a fresh installation of OBS, and then we're going to set up OBS to stream to Twitch. And we may actually try, we will be trying a live stream to Twitch. There just won't be any cameras attached to it because the dummy system that I'm using is a VM, which doesn't actually have a camera attached to it, which is fine. We can still put pictures and some other things in place for it. So that is the plan for this evening, and thank you very much for joining us. So let's get started. So I'm actually going to switch over to my other window here so that we can see the VM. There we go. Okay, so what we're looking at now is we've got a VM of Windows 7 running on an i5 with, 8 gigs of RAM I think I've got in this thing. And this is actually the PC Wizard homepage. And from here, so we'll start with the bare bones here. So let's go to Google. And we're going to start by going to Twitch. So we've got a base Twitch installation here. It's just the main website. Actually, I'm already logged in as my bot. Oh, okay, hang on. Let's sign out. There we go. So we're going to create one from scratch here. He says, well, the thing logs back in automatically. Let's try that again. Log out. There we go. So now we're going to log in. We're going to sign up. And username, we're just going to call this PC Wizard Demo. We'll give it a password, which honestly doesn't really matter what I make it right now. And we're going to give it a birthday. Doesn't really matter what that is at the moment because this is all going to be deleted when I'm done. Let's make myself seem super old because why not? And we're going to make an email. And since this is a demo account, we're going to use my support@pcwizard.ca account. And that way, if somebody actually has any questions or anything, you can email me at support@pcwizard.ca. I'll be happy to assist you with any questions you may have. I am not a robot, contrary to popular belief. Always read your terms of service. We'll bring up this right here. And read your privacy policy as well, which is up here. And sign up. Done. Sure. Just have it remember my login. All done. Alright, so I'm now signed in as my demo account. So I'm going to go over to my dashboard. So welcome to your base dashboard. And from here you can set up all of the configuration is associated to your Twitch account and what you want it to do. So we'll start with the basics here. We'll go to your title. Oh, good day, Duke. How's it going? Ready for the gym, but wanted to pop in and say hi from my new rig I built. Nice. How's it working for you? Okay, so just put a title. This is a test stream. Pick your associated language. Community. Now this is going to go under the tech support community because that's my community. There we go. And I don't believe you can have multiple communities at this time. Let me just see if you can. No, doesn't look like you can starting out, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. All right, so we're going to put tech support. And not playing, search for a game. And we're going to put creative. Update information. Bada bing, bada boom. And you're going to have some information here about your stream later on as you actually go through things. You can connect a Twitter account here, which we're not going to be doing. You'll actually get a video preview of the live stream as you're going, and your auto growth. You can add all of that right there as well. So let's see. Set up now, for instance. So let's just go in here. We're going to turn on auto hosting. We're going to turn on team hosting. We're going to add this my PC Wizard account. And we're also going to add in my other account, which is Toku Cosplay Canada. There we go. So now what will happen is if the demo isn't currently streaming, and any of my other accounts are streaming, it will automatically stream those as well. So we're going to go down. We're going to leave the rest of that all enabled the way it is. Automatically archive my broadcast. So the broadcast that I'm making right now, being for the Twitch tutorial, will be saved to Twitch. So you can watch it afterwards, which is going to be great because that's what I'm planning on doing here, is sharing this link, and people are going to be able to watch this and learn how to do it. So if you want that to work, you have to make sure you have a check mark beside automatically archive my broadcast. Authorized broadcasters, members of your channel are able to stream video to your channel page with one of the advanced broadcasting applications, i.e. OBS, which we're going to get into here in a minute or two. So you can basically leave the rest of this information the way you want it. You can leave it alone for now and then edit it later. So like chat room rules, you may want to put some rules in here. Be awesome. And save your changes. There we go. Done. So we're going to go back over to our dashboard for a second here. So under your dashboard, you can do editing, you can do activity, you can do stats, you can video stats. We'll expand on those in later videos. But for now, we only need to know our stream key. Now your stream key you should never share with anybody ever, because if they have your stream key, they can stream to your account, whether you've restricted them or not. As long as they've got your key, they can stream to your server. So that's why you'll get this pop-up here. If you click on I understand, it will then show us our generated key. We're going to come back to this step right in a few minutes here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go get a copy of OBS. So we're going to go to Google and we're going to go OBS. So we're going to do the Open Broadcast software from the obsproject.com. So right now version 17.0.2 is your Windows version. We've got 0.16.2 for macOS and 0.16.2 for Linux. So we're going to download the Windows version. So Windows 7 or higher is required. It will work on Windows Vista. I wouldn't worry about it because Windows Vista is going end of life in April. So if you have Windows Vista, you should be upgrading to Windows 7 or higher already anyway. And depending on who you ask, it's actually cheaper just to purchase a brand new computer with Windows 10 than it is to buy a fresh copy of Windows 7 or higher. So we've got our download here, and we're going to open it up. And we're just going to minimize our windows. There we go. So here's our installation process for OBS Studio 17.0.2. There is also OBS Classic. I can cover that in a different video if people are interested. So in this case, my system is missing the DirectX components for OBS to be able to run. It has to download and install them. So yes, I want to do that. Which takes me to the Microsoft website for the DirectX installer runtime web, the web installer, I'm sorry. And it auto starts the download, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. And the dxwebsetup.exe is already ready, so we're going to open that again. So the DirectX SDK is being installed. We're going to say yes, we want to install that. We're going to minimize this again. Once again, read your end user licensing agreement, your EULA, and accept the agreement. If you do not accept the agreement, don't bother. It'll give you the option to install the Bing bar. As an IT professional, toolbars are bad. So remove this check mark and then hit next. And now we wait for the installation to go through. Download size is 98.2 megabytes. I am on a gigabit internet, so this should download very quickly. In fact, it may take longer to install than it does to download. Yeah, like 30 seconds to download. It won't take 30 seconds to install. It'll take probably a minute or two. There we go. So we're now doing the installation process. And as I say, this is where it's going to take a few minutes. So I'm just going to actually have a conversation with anybody in the chat room at this point while we sit and wait for this. Let's have a look, see who's around. I see that Duke is logged in, and Brap is logged in. In fact, Brap just arrived. Or at least I just got the notification of it. Hey Brap, how's it going? There we go. So yeah, how's everybody going tonight? We're just waiting on this to finish the installation, which is almost done. It's actually pretty snappy on this VM. Oh, we have an error. The internal system error occurred. Please refer to the dxerror.log and the directx.log in your Windows folder to determine the problem. Installation failed. Well, that's no good. Let's go read our log file here. Okay. Well then, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to modify this VM so that it is able to run DirectX. So on that note, I can't do that live because I'm going to have to rebuild it, and that's going to take longer than I feel like investing into this stream. Okay, then we're probably going to have to skip over doing OBS on that. Actually, no, hang on. We might be able to get away with this. Where is the web installer? Delete. Okay, there we go. So we're going to run just OBS here. It should give us the error saying we have to install DirectX again. Oh, it's not. Okay, good. Perhaps says needs to do laundry, write some cover letters, apply for jobs, and brush out a wig. Wow, you've got a busy night today, don't you? And Visker Studios has just arrived. Good evening, my friend. How's it going? Okay, so OBS is installed and ready to run. So we're going to hit finish. Here's your end user licensing agreement for OBS. Make sure you have a read through of that. And just hit OK. And welcome to the default installation of OBS. Depending on your screen resolution, you may be able to see that, you may not be able to. So actually, I'm going to zoom the screen in a little bit. Doing this, that's the, oops, wrong screen. This one. There we go, and then we're just going to move that over this way. There you go. So now you should be able to see everything with good clarity here. So this is your base installation of OBS. It's got nothing. It looks like nothing. It's boring. Boring is good. You want to start creating your scenes and your overlays and your cameras and whatever else you're going to actually show when you start streaming needs to be prepared inside of OBS first. So example, let's bring it back up Chrome for a second here, and Strexm is a dynamic modular stream overlay. Naming mechanisms, super important. Super important. So right now I'm on a website called Strexm, S-T-R-E-X-M. It allows you to do dynamic overlays. It's what I'm using to generate the overlays that you see on my streams right now. I do tend to change stuff quite frequently, but for the here and now, that's what we're going to use. So we're going to authorize that. Welcome to Strexm PC demo, and you get to choose a free overlay. You can have, I'm not sure how many free ones you can have, but the rest of them are paid, which is fine. They actually look pretty good. So depending on which game you're playing, you'd want to select your associated game and go from there. Let's see. Ace is an Overwatch one right here. Let's just take that. And that's what that's going to look like. And sorry, it's not centered for you guys. Let me center it here. There you go. So it's a little more centered than it would have been. So that's what this is going to look like whenever somebody does a conversation or a donation or a follower or whatever alert is going to happen. So we're going to go with this one. This seems fine. We're going to choose the overlay, and we're going to hit finish, which doesn't show up on my screen here. Hang on, I got to adjust my screen. so that you can see everything. Which I'm going to have to do a lot of that tonight, so just bear with me, guys. So now we're going to click on finish right over here. And bada bing, bada boom, it takes us to our configuration, where you just get to edit the contents of what you want to show. They walk you through on a tour. We're not gonna. You can do the tour later. We're not gonna do that right now. And we're gonna just go down a little bit. So right here is what your follower alert is gonna look like. You can edit that information through here. We're gonna leave it all as the defaults for now. You can change your sounds that are played when someone follows or such. We'll just go back up here for a second. And this right here is actually the stream overlay. So if we go to new tab, you guys aren't even going to be able to see that. Hang on. See if I shrink this down a little bit. There. We'll do that. There you go. You should be able to see that now. There. So this is a live demo of the overlay and any edits that you would be making to it. This is where it would look. This is also what you're going to attach in OBS. So for now, we're actually going to copy the URL, and then we're going to go back to OBS here. You can name your scenes whatever you want. So example being, I have a stream is starting soon, an intro, which is my animation, I'll be right back, a tech QA, which is the full screen of my video. I've got my tech bench from when I have a machine up, that goes full screen, and then I go to the small window that you're seeing right now. I've got an active PC window, which is what we're using actually exactly right now. So where you see me in a tiny little box in the corner, and the rest of the screen is my other computer screen here, that's a scene that I have. And then there's the sources right here. And the sources are where I get to stipulate certain things. So we're going to go add a source. We're going to set it as a browser source. And this is where we're going to add in Strexm. So we're going to call it Strexm. Give it a name that makes sense to you. Don't just call it browser. Because if you end up having 30 things all called browser, it's going to make for a pain in the ass to try to figure out what you're doing. You're going to want to replace the URL of what's being rendered. You can modify your width and height and your FPSs and everything else if you so choose. I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to refresh the cache of the current page, and I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to wait. There. Now, what it's done is it has taken... Oh, okay. Hold on. For some reason, I have that set to the wrong... Let's full screen this. We're going to go here. We're going to go to Edit Overlay. Top bar is good. We're going to turn the chat window on. Dimensions were 800 by 600 as Brap has pointed out. So we can actually go and edit that inside of OBS. So we're going to go here. We're going to double click on Strexm, and it should be, what do I have this set to? 1920 by 1280, I think. 1080. I think that's what I have it set to. See, now it's too big. Okay, so now that it's too big, we don't actually know what our screen size is. So we're going to go into our settings here. And we're going to go into video. So our output is set to 1120 by 700. My actual canvas is 1680 by 1050, what I have right now. So I'm going to have to change the Strexm to be 1650 by, what did I say, 1080? or 1280. Well, you can go back and edit it again. We're going to hit OK on that. Sorry, I had to sneeze. 1680 by 1050. 1680 by 1050. And now we're going to just scratch this a little bit until it fits. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so now it's linked. Thank you, Brap. So now we have a beautiful overlay that's now on top of something else. Now we're just going to add in another picture here. So let's go to, actually what we'll do is we'll add a browser source. So we're going to go here and we're going to go window capture, which most people on here, if you're doing gaming, you're probably going to use, or you're going to use a display capture. So we're going to go window capture. Look at that, infinite loop, because right now we are selecting to take Chrome, which that's not actually right. That shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, this is fun. I ended up doing this earlier today when I was getting the stream ready, because I was going to use my live stream and show you my live settings, but then this happened. This is not what you want. This isn't that fantastic. But this will work good enough. This will prove a point. So right now, window capture is higher than Strexm, which is why we don't see our overlay. We're going to move Strexm on top of it. Now we have our overlay. And that's the basics of what you want to do for content. We're just going to turn the content off by clicking on the eyeball, which makes it hide. Let's just grab a random picture from the net. So it's something shiny. We won't use that. Let's go. Oops. Nope, not my website. I just want to go. There we go. We're going to go PC. We're going to go image. We're going to take a picture here. We're going to save it. You want to do this with items that you actually own the rights to do. And we're going to go image. Now you can go image or you can go image slideshow. Image slideshow allows you to point it at a folder so that it's constantly changing pictures on you, or you can go with just a static picture. For right now, we're just going to do a static picture. Now, you notice here there's an option that says unload image when not showing. What that means is if this picture isn't active, so if you've got multiple different scenes and you only load certain items in certain scenes, then it doesn't have to load every single piece of OBS all the time, which just helps decrease your memory footprint, which is a good thing. You want to do that. And we're just going to make this nice and big for a second here, and we're going to put Strexm back at the top again. And then we're just going to move it around. We're going to take image, and we're just going to move the image over here for a second. There we go. There. So we've got a couple of layers going on here. So now that you've got your basis of what you're going to do inside of Twitch, inside of OBS, how do you get OBS to stream to Twitch? You go over to your settings. You can leave all of this to the defaults for your first stream until you figure out what you're trying to do and how you want it to go. But you want to go to your stream option here. You want to go to streaming services. You want to set your service to Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or whatever you're going to use. But for this particular demo, we're going to have it set to Twitch. You want to set a server that's close to where you live. That'll decrease latency, it'll decrease bandwidth, it will make it run better. And in here is where you put your stream key, which we were talking about a few minutes ago. This is what matters. As long as as long as you have your stream key here, or somebody has your stream key, they can stream onto your account. So we're going to go back to our dashboard here, and here's our stream key. As I said, this stream key is a demo. It is a test account. It will be reset, so don't bother copying it. It ain't going to work. So you're going to copy the entire key, and right-click, copy. If you, for some reason, think that your key has been compromised, you hit the reset key, and then that wipes that key and validates it, makes you a brand new one. Which is exactly what I'm going to do at the end of this. And then we're going to paste it. And to be sure that your key matches what you have, you can hit the show key, or show button here, and it'll show your key. And that is the bare bone requirements to be able to get OBS to stream to Twitch, which is fine. But we're gonna go and we're gonna just make this a little more. So we've got this is the default output. So if you did want to, this is where you can control your video bitrate. So find out what your internet speed is and then adjust this so that it fits. If you wanted to record your videos and save them locally as an MP4 or a flash, then you could set your settings in here. Your audio settings would be controlling your microphones. If your camera has a microphone, then you may want to configure it in here. Your video. Your canvas is what we started this whole process with in the background, but the output is what it scales to. Typically speaking, you can change your FPSs. Most people, as far as I know, stream in 30. I'm sure I know some people probably stream in 60. The standard webcam, you're only streaming in 30. Hotkeys. Hotkeys are great because if you want to switch a scene on the fly, you set a hotkey, then you just tap the keyboard, it switches it. You don't have to do anything. You want to turn your microphone on, bam. You want to turn your camera on, bam. Turn these things off. Set your away message. You've got a raid alert. You can have a hotkey just to trigger raids, pop-ups, whatever you want to do, because that's what these are all set for. Advanced. Your process priority, usually leave that at normal, especially if you're going to have games running at the same time. You don't want to affect any of that. Just leave that all be. And we're just going to leave everything else as defaults. If you have multiple network cards, so like in my case, I've got 4, because I've got a couple of different setups in place here. So I've got different networks, so you can bind to an IP address. So if you have a network that is set up that it's either like a proxy or it's a VLAN or it's a work versus a personal, then you may only be able to stream on a particular IP. 99% if you don't. So that's just an FYI, but 99% of you don't have this issue. Just hit OK. And the very last step at the bare bone, get things started, hit start streaming. Now it's connecting. And assuming my firewall doesn't block it, it should go right on out. So now it says stop streaming. So we've got our bitrate, we've got our CPU usage, we've got our time, and we've got our drop frames. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to the dashboard. We're going to close this. We're going to go live. And here's the preview of your live stream as it is right now. As a bare bone, this is how you get things started. You are now running. You are now on Twitch. You are streaming. Tell everybody who you are. Share your stream. That's the end of the bare bone demo. So we've got a bitrate right now 2445. We have stats. I've got absolutely nobody, 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 and nobody. You'll have one viewer, which is yourself, because that's you in the dashboard. Nobody is auto-hosting me, and nobody. I'm not hosting anybody, and nobody's hosting me. If we have a chat test, and we're just going to close that. There. So your chat would show up in there, which if you're looking on my screen right now, you'll see that I have a chat window of everybody that's currently in my group, and we're having conversation for tonight. But that's really about it. Super exciting, I know, but that's all you need to know to get things to work. So I'm going to switch back off of this, and I'm going to ask if anybody in the chat room has any questions or any comments or suggestions. I know Brap is still with us, and she's the Twitch queen. She's our Twitch mod across the board, and hopefully she has some comments that will be helpful to you when you're getting things ready to go. Stream key, show key, I understand, reset. And so I just reset my stream key live as I'm streaming. It's going to drop OBS because of it. There we go. And I'm going to close OBS. So yeah, and I'm just going to save all of these settings. So if anybody wants to do more advanced Q&As on how to do a live, how to set up OBS and do Twitch streaming, leave me a comment, send me an email, come to one of my tech QAs, come to my cosplay channel at which is toku_cosplay_Canada, and let me know. And I can share this video to you to get started. And then if you have advanced questions, we can do a series of videos on doing more advanced settings. Example being like right now, the server that I was just working out of has my bots running in it. Now bots is a whole other thing because there's a lot of bots available and they have a lot of different settings. But if you have a bot set up, it's pretty freaking cool. And they can work pretty well. And of course our mod Brap has already shared that into our chat, which won't show up on the window that you're looking at because that's an in-chat notification only. It doesn't show it on my stream because bot commands won't show on your stream and your chat bot or in your chat window. That if you had it for like Strexm here, where it had the chat overlay, it won't show any of that, which is kind of cool. So you have to be literally in the chat room to see these notifications. All right, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to switch my screen for a few seconds here just to be this is the end of this video, and then we'll just keep going with the stream. So thank you everybody who came to watch this video now and in the future. Hopefully this was helpful to you. If it was, hit a follow, send a like, let me know, leave feedback, and we'll do more of these as people have questions, because I know in the last week I've got a lot of questions, which is why I did this tonight. I'm here every Wednesday night, and from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. Usually runs later than that, but you know, I'm here. And then under my other channels, I'm available throughout the week. So thank you for coming, and I'm just going to throw the sign up, and then we'll continue going with the regular tech QAs.